Okay, today what I'm going to do, even though it is blazing hot out in the garage right now, since I have a lot of good daylight available to me still, I'm going to start this project and I'm going to show you what I want to do with this John Deere engine to modify it for HHO operation. Ultimately, I think I'll probably take it off of this mower deck and mount it to some other type of frame that is not quite so bulky, with my throttle cable just shortened up and attached locally to the motor somewhere. But this is the air intake assembly right here, and the flywheel underneath the pull start is also a fan that takes air, sucks it down through these louvers and blows it across the top of the top of the engine, just like most four-stroke small engines do. They're air cooled, and the fan that is the flywheel also, the flywheel doubles as a fan and blows air across to keep the engine cool. So I'm going to try and retain some of that. This plastic cover creates the housing, or creates the shroud that directs the airflow over the top of the cylinder head, and I want to maintain that. So what I'll do is I'm going to take the pull start off, and I'm also going to take this section of the top cover housing and cut it off completely, because I'm going to be removing the carburetor entirely. The carburetor sits down below here. From this part right here to this part is the carburetor. The float bowl is underneath. The fuel tank sits underneath the top cover also, and of course that will be removed as well. For quick experiments, I may operate this engine without the plastic cover at all, just the pull start mounted to the studs at the top of the engine. So I'm just going to let the camera run, and when I'm finished recording this video, I'll do a time lapse of the whole disassembly process. Alright, here we go. This is the air filter. Okay, that's the shroud. Of course, gas is spilling out now. This is the gas tank underneath here. This is the shutoff valve, which comes through to the top of the plastic housing. And you can see what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to cut away. Well, I have to take the gas tank out of here in order to show you that, so give me a minute. Alright, I think before I take the gas tank out of the top cover shroud, I'm going to get the gas can and open up the fuel valve and just drain all of the fuel into my gas can and collect it before I pull anything apart, because it will probably spill. Alright, I've completed the collection of the gasoline. Now I can finish my disassembly of the shroud, of the hood. But I want to show you, you can see the basic outline of the shroud that directs the air flow over the top of the cylinder head, like so. And this resembles the basic shroud shape of a standard like Briggs & Stratton engine. Okay, and what I'll end up doing is I'm going to cut away all of this plastic going all the way around, and just leaving the shroud and allowing it to direct the airflow for the engine. Okay, continuing on, we're going to take the carburetor assembly off the side of the engine. Now the thing that I like about the carburetor assembly is that the speed is regulated by what's called a governor. The governor is a flywheel type device inside the motor that mechanically regulates the throttle opening. I don't know how well I can show you this. If you can see this, this is the lever that comes from the governor, and this is the throttle plate in the carburetor. And I like this approach to regulating the speed because this could also be used to regulate the speed of the engine when being powered under HHO. Only problem is it's also creating a vacuum when it's at low throttle openings. And I'm not quite sure how I would incorporate this other than to say that I might be able to attach this governor linkage to an HHO valve that would regulate the flow of HHO going in rather than the throttle opening of the carburetor. So we'll have to figure that out later. I'm going to disconnect the linkage that controls the choke to the carburetor. Alright. Now the linkage to the throttle should come right out. Yep, and there you have it. This is the carburetor. Here is your throttle control on the carburetor, and the choke control on the inlet to the carburetor. This is the float bowl that fills with gasoline fuel to a specified level determined by the float adjustment inside, and the mixture, of course, on the carburetor is adjusted by the mixture screws, which we won't be needing anymore.